Hello. So, since I picked a manga for my first sightseeing pick, I'm going to go ahead and spin another one and take a backup one in case I end up finishing this one. So, as you can see, it's still on the 200 points. Let's spin again. A 500 point. I'm so excited I'm going to get to do a 500 for them. So let's again pull up the graphics and see what I've got for a 500 pick. Okay, a book with exactly 5 words in the title. I think that might be the one that I do. A book with footnotes. 4th book in a series. Ooh. Do I have any volume 4s I need to read? Maybe. We'll check. A book with all 5 vowels on the front cover. A manga would be great for that, so I think I might do that one. A book with foiling on the cover, the edition you are reading. I know some manga has foiling. I might save that for later, though. A book Brie gave 5 stars. I'm going to have to go through her 5-star favorites and find one that I haven't read. I've read a lot of her 5 stars. But a lot of the ones that she's given 5 stars that I haven't, like, I'm not interested in. So, we'll see. A book written before 2001. I could reread a manga for that. Maybe tonight. A book with a person's name in the title. Again, that's one that I could easily do right now. A book over 500 pages. I've got enough time. Maybe I sneak that one in. I don't know. I'm working the next couple days, so I don't think I can make that one work. A book with less than 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. Any manga counts for that. So let's see if I can find a volume 4 or something with all 5 vowels on the cover. So, give me a moment. I will be back with my decision.
A few moments later.
Okay, selection made. So, I'm going to do How I Met My Soulmate, because this has exactly 5 words in the title, but it also has all the vowels. So, I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick it for yet. This is definitely a contemporary that has a romance. I mean, obviously, soulmate. So, it's more like a coming of age, they're college students kind of situation. Yes, there's heavily featuring a romance. I'm going to read you the back. It says, ever since she moved to the city, Yuki has wondered if she would ever find the one. As Yuki finds herself drawn more and more to the relaxed dental student Yori, she begins to question in her search to find her soulmate. Then she reunites with her first unrequited love, Jin, who suddenly asks her out. Is there really such a thing as destiny after all? And if so, who is it meant for? A first love or someone new? So, I guess this one is more romance. Do I have any that are more contemporary fiction? Oh, I do. Hold on. So, I changed my mind. We're going to do a story of 7 lives. And again, that is exactly 5 words in the title. This is a contemporary story, and you get it from the perspective of the cats, I believe. So, this is a heartfelt tale of cats, survival, and hope. It says on the back. So I believe it's a cat that used to be a house cat, becomes a stray, and then becomes a house cat again, I think is kind of the situation here. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. So that's what I gathered quickly from the back. So this will be my second one. This will be my 500 point prompt. Since it's a little beefier, I feel a little better about that. Since it's such a heavy weighted point value, I feel like I should be reading something a little bit longer. So these are my 2 sightseeing picks so far for the first leg, which I'm reading for teen fiction. So I don't know that I'm going to get any extra bonus points for these right now. This one I'll get for being fiction, but I don't think either of these authors or mangakas are queer. I'll do some research and make sure. If they are, then great. But I'll at least get it for this one, the extra 50, which gives 550 for this one. So that's not bad. And then I'll just get the 200 for this one. Unless it ends up reading more women's fiction-y, then I'll go ahead and count it as the genre prompt. But I do believe this ends up being a romance. So I don't know how this first volume is going to feel. I'm going to base it on the specific volume that I'm reading, because I feel like they'll call a series a romance, but it's not really a romance till like the second half. So we'll see how this first volume reads. If it feels very romancy from the beginning, then I'm not going to count it. But anyways, sprints are about to start. I'm going to hop on, finish up my normal read and then maybe get started on Imitation. Hello. So it is now the end of June 2nd. I have finished 2 things since we last chatted, so let's quickly talk about them. So for 500 points, well, technically 550, because this is a general fiction story, is The Story of 7 Lives. This is a complete manga series in this one omnibus, but this particular story is very sad. So we are following this kitten. His name is Nanao, which is 7 lives in Japanese with the way it was written. And their owner ends up not showing back up one day, and they become a stray. We get the reason as to why he became a stray. I was very emotional. I almost cried when I found out. And it's all about him getting to the cat getting to know other strays and reuniting with someone who is also close to their original owner. And so it's a story of grief and loss. It's absolutely beautiful. It is fairly dense. It did take me a little while to read it, and I'm okay with that. I really enjoyed it, and I love to sink my teeth into a good manga. Y'all know this. So with that said, I would highly recommend The Story of 7 Lives. The art is absolutely stunning. It has its ups and downs emotionally, and I like that it wasn't just one flat story all the way through. It gave you the ups and downs. It gave you a good arc of a story, and I don't think it needed to be any longer either. I think it was fantastic the way it was. So, highly recommend if you love stories about animals. There is some animal death, but not in a intentionally cruel way, just kind of the nature of being a stray. So do take that into consideration. I think it was all done very tastefully. I don't think anything was done in a gratuitous or torturous way at all. There are some people who were cat catchers, but you don't ever see them do anything other than try to catch the cats. But you just never see those cats again. So you can infer what you need to there. But yes, wanted to make sure all of that was clear. I did get 550 points for reading this, for sightseeing, for teen fiction. Yay! The other thing I read was, I believe it was Give Me the Reins by Vanessa Vale. Hand Me the Reins by Vanessa Vale. This is the 3rd book in the Bachelor Auction series, and it was a trilogy following brothers. I really loved it. Thatcher is, he was the one who owned a bar, was kind of the playboy brother, and he ends up getting smitten by his curvy bakery date that bought him. Well, she didn't technically buy him. Her great aunt bought him for her. And it was really sweet and really cute. She ends up having him be her fake boyfriend to go to her sister's wedding because her ex, who cheated on her, is in the wedding party. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on with all of that. It was a really quick listen. I really like Vanessa Vale. So if you're looking for some short cowboy romances, I think these fit the bill. They're just cowboy enough that it's not going to over cowboy you. So it gives you that great Western, and mostly the reason why it's a country romance or a Western romance is the way they treat their women, and it's all done in a very respectful way. They very much respect women and want to protect them. And so her and her toxic family was the perfect environment for him to be okay, y'all can't treat her that way. He literally decks this man and the ex in the face, and I was so happy when that happened. There's a huge fallout afterwards because of that, but I loved the moment it happened because it needed to happen. And if you read it, you'll understand. But anyways, so because of that, we now need to do my next spin. So let me pull that up. All right, so it's a 400 point one. So let's look at my options and what will fit. Okay, a one-word title. Okay, that with manga, that's actually a pretty easy one. Maybe I'll do that. A book by 2 or more authors. Again, an easy one with manga. A book with a non-human main character. I know what I'm gonna do. Oh my gosh. Okay. The other ones are a book with only words on the cover. Ah, dang. I was one book too early for that one. That would have been great for the last one. A book with a train, plane, or car on it. Okay. A book with one person on the cover. Not hard to do, especially with manga. A book involving a game. Oh. I'm going to have to hunt something out. I haven't looked too deeply at these, if you can't tell. A book with more than 100,000 ratings on Goodreads. Oh. I don't know if I'm going to get to that one. We'll see. An author uses initials. That's not hard in manga either. And a book published in the same month as your birthday. Okay. So, I'm going to do the non-human main character. And today at work, I actually picked up volume 11 of A Man and His Cat. So that's going to be my sightseeing pick for 400 points for teen fiction. Because this is a slice of life manga about an older man who's a widower who ends up adopting this like fat, ugly cat. And it is just his life with this cat and the people that come into his life. He used to be a concert pianist, like a professional, well-known one. And he had kind of dropped off the radar. And so it's kind of about him getting his life back. It's absolutely beautiful. I cry in almost every volume. I'm so excited to keep going. So yes, I will be reading that next. I will see you when I finish it. Hello. It is the next morning. I am currently on sprints with Heather, Brittany, Margaret, and Aoife, and everybody in the chat, of course. And I did just finish A Man and His Cat Volume 11. I love this so much. This series is so precious. This particular volume was especially because we see part of Konda's trauma and why he can't play the piano anymore, which has been an ongoing thing that we don't fully understand why. We know part of it's related to the death of his wife, but there were other factors, and now we met one of those factors, you could say. And then we also meet his father-in-law, who is someone who is very precious to him, but like he didn't go visit him for a long time. And this volume really just warmed my heart. So yes, I love this. I love this big chubby cat and the joy he gives this widower. And it makes my heart so happy. It always has, always will. Okay, with that said, let's spin for another prompt. I'm going to have to spin off camera and screenshot it because my battery is about to die, and we'll do it from a phone. So let's switch. We spun and got 100. So let's look at our options for 100 points. So we've got a 2024 release, a friend recommendation, a book with an odd number of pages, a backlist book, a book with a number in the title, a book talk recommendation, a genre blend, a novella, an author you've read before, and a book that has been on your TBR for at least a year. I say let's go easy and go with a 2024 release, but I want to find something that's fiction feeling. So let's wander. Perfect. We'll do a business proposal volume 2. But this is more romance. No, we won't do this one. We'll save it for later. Do Scribbles volume 2. This is basically a collection of art from a particular mangaka, so it's very contemporary, very historical fiction based in what she does. This is Kaoru Mori, who is one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and do this one next for 100 points. And because it's a little lighter on the text than some, I don't feel bad that I'm using it for 100 points. So, all right. So quick update. I did finish Scribbles Volume 2 by Kaoru Mori. Loved every second of this. I could not find anywhere if Kaoru Mori has come out as queer, so I'm not counting that bonus. But I am going to count the fiction bonus because this definitely favors her historical fiction series and just contemporary people. So, really loved my time going through her art, which I love and is stunning, and learning more about her art and her thought process. So, got that finished. Then I went ahead and did another spin, and I got a 500 prompt. So I opted to do the one with less than 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, and most manga fits for that. So I ended up selecting The Secret of Friendship. This is a complete story in one, and it was really good. It's about these two girls who are best friends. Pretty sure one has a crush on the other, but it's all about them kind of growing up and learning what they want in a relationship, what's important to them, all those kinds of things. Very slice of life feeling. There's like one romance confession at the end, but this isn't really a romance. This is all about these two girls and their friendship, and then there are two guys and their friendship. So it follows the two sets of friends and how they're interwoven and brought together and things like that. It's a beautiful story about friendship and how friendship looks different to different people, and how people who are so different from each other can end up being best friends. And it was beautifully done. The art is stunning. I think the story told was fantastic as well. So again, would recommend. There's still about 8 minutes left on these sprints, but I don't think there's going to be enough time to finish something before the next prompt's going to drop. I have this gut feeling that it's going to happen like while I'm at work, or like first thing tomorrow morning before I'm really like awake. So I think I'm just going to start something that I think I could use for a prompt and hope that I end up on that team. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to read for this leg in Sightseeing. I will see you once I start Sightseeing for the next leg. Okay, friends, welcome to leg 2 of Sightseeing. So I finished my main read, my city prompt read for Team Sci-Fi in leg 2. And now we're going to check out what I'm going to read next. So let's get out my handy dandy spinner wheel and get the prompts loaded up so I remember what I've done and what I haven't, for one, and for two, we can do that. Team chooses. Okay, so I'm going to quickly pop in to Team Sci-Fi and ask them the point value they want me to choose for my first Sightseeing prompt. I will let you know once they come back. I'm going to let it go for like 10-15 minutes. And then I will let you guys know what they decide. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to pick, but we'll see what they decide. Okay, so y'all have chosen 300. You went with the safe, middle of the road option since you didn't know whether I was helping or hurting. I respect that decision, but at the same time, I was hoping y'all would go for more. But let's go ahead and pull up my canvas so I don't accidentally repeat a prompt, because I've just been building my little templates for myself to show y'all at the end of all this. Well, once the vlog is live, you will see all these graphics. But yes, where is my 300? There we go. So I've read a book with higher than a 4.0 rating on Goodreads. So that one's done. So I have a POC author, which is any manga. A book involving travel. A book that takes place primarily at a school. Ooh, that's perfect for manga. Let's do that. Okay, I'm back. So I've made my decision. Sadly, this doesn't have the team bonus point on it, but I think you guys will be okay. So this is Skip and Loafer Volume 8. I love Skip and Loafer. Volume 9 just came out, and I'm so sad that I haven't read this volume yet. So we're going to read it. We're going to rectify that. I love these two. This is basically a slice of life school story about, you know, a country bumpkin coming into Tokyo and making friends with a boy who used to be like a child star, and their adorable friendship, potential relationship later. Like, I'm thriving. They're so cute. And I've been meaning to read this volume for months. So I'm going to fix that while we're in this readathon. And I will see you guys on the other side of this, probably in the morning, because I'm getting tired. And I'm sprinting tomorrow. So you'll see me doing lots of stuff tomorrow. But I am also probably going to pick something longer for whatever I choose. Maybe an audio so I can work in my library so that you're not just seeing me film in my office all the time. I'm sure you'd love to see my shelves again, but they are a mess and I got to fix them. So that's on the list for tomorrow. So I will read this. I will come to you when I finish. We'll chat about it and then we'll pick out the next one before sprints start tomorrow. So see y'all tomorrow. Hello. So I did not read last night. So I have not read Skip and Loafer Volume 8 yet, but I am going to be hosting sprints today. So I wanted to quickly do my next spin so that I'm not having to do it like mid-sprint if I can help it. So let's go ahead and pull up my spinner wheel. The next is 400 points, and that was the next highest pick for when I did you guys pick. So let's pick out a 400 point prompt. That's what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out. All right, so the only one I've read so far for 400 is a book with a non-human main character. So we've got a one-word title, a book with 2 or more authors, a book with only words on the cover, a book with a train, plane, or a car on it, a book with 1 person on the cover, a book involving a game, a book with more than 100,000 ratings on Goodreads, an author uses initials, and a book published in the same month as your birth. I'm hoping to pick an audiobook. Let me see when the one I'm hoping to do came out. No, that won't work for that. Ooh, but it's multiple authors. I think I can do that one. With 2 or more authors. Yes, so I'll do it for that. So this is a long one, so I'm hoping I can knock it all out. And that is He Who Fights with Monsters. My spouse has been begging me to read this series for a long time. He says it's not begging, but it was a little bit. Anyhow, so I'm going to start this first book. That's going to be my audio for today. If I feel like I'm not going to get anywhere near finishing it in time, then I'll spin again and we'll pick something shorter. But this is something that he really wants me to read, so I really want to get going on it. So that's going to be the plan. It's a 400 point prompt. So yeah, that's going to be my pick for this 400 point prompt. And again, as the day goes on, if I feel like I'm not going to get anywhere near finishing either tonight or early tomorrow, then I will go ahead and spin again. But I know it's a long one, but I tend to listen at 2 or 2.5 times speed. I haven't tested out this author yet, so I don't know, or the narrator yet, so I don't know how fast I can speed it up. But we'll see. Anyways, it's going to be a good time. We're going to figure this out. And I will see you guys in sprints. If anything funny happens, I'm sure you'll see it. All right, I'm back. We happen to still be sprinting, but I did have to change the book that I read for the 400 point prompt, because I did a little more research on He Who Fights with Monsters, and it starts out very fantasy, gets more sci-fi as the series goes on. So I didn't feel comfortable using that and counting it as team genre for that first book. So I'm going to wait till I'm on Team Fantasy, and then I will do something in that realm. But I switched over to one that I think a lot of people are excited that I'm finally reading, and that is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. Yes, I'm finally going down the murder bot rabbit hole. I absolutely adored this first book. It's brilliantly written. I love that Murderbot isn't necessarily the most reliable of narrators, but I really appreciated what was going on in this first book. It sets up your world very nicely. I'm very excited to continue. And with that said, let's go ahead and spin to see what we're gonna do next. No. So it's 500 points. Sorry, you got the Gemini pop up in the middle. I must have bumped something. But yes, it is 500 points. So let's look at the 500 points that I have as options. So let's see. I can do a book with footnotes, 4th book in a series, a book with all 5 vowels on the front cover, a book with foiling on the cover. The edition you are reading has to have the foiling. A book we gave 5 stars. A book written before 2001. A book with the person's name in the title. A book over 500 pages. Let me evaluate my options. I will get back to you. All right, I am back. So we are going to go with The White Cat's Revenge as Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap, Volume 4. So with this one, it could count for one of 2. No, only the one, because there's not a U on there. So this is going to count for 4 in the title. So I am very excited to be reading this one, and it's going to be a good time. I really love this series. It's definitely fantasy leaning, not sci-fi. I don't have any good sci-fi manga that I'm currently reading at the moment, so I don't really have a bonus available for that. So instead, I'm going to read something quick so that I can get more points to kind of balance things out. So with that said, I'll see you on the other side of this one. Alrighty, so I have now finished The White Cat's Revenge is Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap, Volume 4. This was worth 500 points. A fantastic installment in the series. I don't know when we're going to get Volume 5, but I'm very excited for whenever we get it. And with 500 points in the bank for Team Sci-Fi, let's see what I'm going to read next. $100 points. So let me pull up all of my 100 point options. So I have a 2024 released, a friend recommendation, a book with an odd number of pages, a backlist book, a book with a number in the title, a book talk recommendation, a genre blend, a novella, and a book that has been on your TBR for at least a year. I've got so many options on this one. Okay, so we're going to go with a 2024 release, and that is the final volume of Beyond the Clouds by Nikki. This is a Final Fantasy meets Studio Ghibli style story, and I have been putting off finishing it off. But one of the things I wanted to do in the year of 2024 is finish more of the series, kind of like this, where I've had the last volume and I've just kind of been sitting on it for a long time. So we're going to do that today. We're going to read Beyond the Clouds and finish this out, and I will use my 2024 release 100 points to finish a series. Once I finish it, we will come back and pick my next one. I'm probably gonna have to run some errands in between, so I will probably check in with you once I get back. By the way, I've had the last couple of days off, so that's why I'm kind of doing a lot here all at once. But I've also been on sprints doing most of this, so anyhow, I'm going to read this, and I will see you on the other side of it. Hello. So it's been a couple of hours since I've seen you. I've run errands, left the house, touched grass, all that kind of stuff. And I am now back home. I've got my sustenance in my locally branded soda shop style Simple Modern. And I just finished Beyond the Clouds by Nikki. This volume was everything I wanted this ending to be and more. It was so sweet. I almost cried several times. I didn't actually cry. I think the only thing that stopped me was the fact that I was actually on live sprints. So this is a beautiful, touching story following Theo and a young girl named Mia that he finds randomly one day. And she is someone who has dropped into this town that he's in. She has wings. And this is the journey of him helping her figure out who she is because she has memory loss. It's beautiful. It's very slice of life where they come across a bunch of different people throughout their journey. And the way this ended was absolute perfection. It has some steampunk elements to it in the art style. Theo is an inventor, and that's all he ever wants. And it's beautiful. I love it so much. Like, I want to reread the entire series again. But yeah, I don't see this one leaving my collection. I'm very attached to this. It is so, so sweet. So, so good. So with that, it's time for us to do another spin. Let me get my spinner wheel up. All right, a 200 pointer. So let's go to the 200 points. I'm trying to remember which ones I've done. So let's do that and decide what we're going to do next. So the only one I've done off the 200 stack is a book with a romance. So let's see, I've got a book with a map, a book involving food, a book with an illustrated cover, a first-person POV, a self-published book, a 5-star prediction, an author's debut, an isolated setting, and a retelling. I'm going to go with a 5-star prediction for myself and go with the most recent installment in the Prime Mating Agency series by Regine Abel. I Married Krogel. So that's the one that I'm going to read. It's an alien romance, so I'm very excited, and that's going to be a good time. It's a short one, so I can probably knock it all out today. But if not, then I'll knock it out tomorrow, probably before work. So I have the mid shift tomorrow, so I'll have some time in the morning. But yes, I'm currently on Margaret's sprints, hanging with her for a bit. So yeah, I'm really excited to read I Married Krogel. So I think that's going to be good. It'll give me the sci-fi bonus, and yeah. So I've got about a half an hour left on these sprints, so I'll see how far I get in that time. And we'll probably do at least one more, because I think Zoe's taking over at 5 o'clock my time. I probably won't hop on with her. I've been in front of the camera a lot today, but I'll probably just chill, run downstairs, and hang out and read. So with that said, I will see you guys on the other side of I Married Krogel. Hello, good morning. It is now officially the 6th of June, and I just finished I Married Krogel, which was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was definitely 5 stars, and it may be a 6-star. I loved it so much. Krogel is very unique for his race. His race is very, aggressive and territorial, but he is just this gentle, giant teddy bear of a male, and the woman that he ends up being with is a victim of domestic abuse. And I loved everything about this. She ends up with a pet familiar kind of thing, and they have this beautiful bond, and there was so much about this to love. Culturally, he had to set up boundaries with his own mother, and the way this talked about accepting people for who they are and setting proper boundaries with people even when they're family just was so well done. This is why I love this particular series from Regine Abel. I feel like in each book she's tackling something like that is hard for people in society, and I love it so much. So if you have not been reading the Prime Mating Agency, please do. I do think the first book, looking back, is the weakest of all of them, but I continue to really love and adore the series as it goes on. So let me pull up my spinner wheel, and we'll get the next thing picked out before I head to work. Another 300 points. So let me pull up the 300s. So we can do a POC author, a book involving travel, a third-person POV, a book that takes place in a different country from where you live, a special edition, a book involving sports, a book with an animal on the cover, a book with a weapon on the cover. I think I'm going to go a book with the animal on the cover, because I just realized Dinosaur Sanctuary is somebody's host favorite, I believe. So I've only read the first volume. I need to get around to reading the rest. I've been collecting them. So I'm going to read Dinosaur Sanctuary. That's what I'm going to take to work with me today. And I will see you guys on the other side of Dinosaur Sanctuary. Hello, it is a new day. We are officially on June 8th. Let's do a spinner wheel, shall we? so that we can figure out what I'm gonna do for Team Fantasy. Nope, that's the wrong spinner. I need this spinner, please. All right, here we go. Team chooses. Okay. I'm probably going to do 2 spins this morning. So while the team chooses, because I'm going to give them about 15 minutes to choose, just like I did with Team Sci-Fi, which I'm probably just going to go copy that exact message and put it over, and we'll see what they decide. Okay, my card was full, so I had to go clear some old stuff off that I kept forgetting to take off. So voting is happening. Y'all are really wanting the 500 points so far. I haven't had it up very long. I've only had it up 2 minutes. And 500 points is definitely winning. So that'll most likely be the choice. We're going to let it go the full amount and we'll see. Let's go ahead and spin for another one though, so I can take 2 with me to work. A 400 point. Perfect. So let's pick that out while they vote. So the 2 that I've used already are a book with a non-human main character and a book with more than 100,000 ratings on Goodreads. Let's shoot for a 1-word title, because I know I have some manga with 1-word titles that I haven't gotten to yet. Actually, I know exactly which one I'm going to grab. Hold on. I will be back. Okay, so it actually matches my shirt. I didn't do that on purpose. But I'm going to read Wand Dance Volume 5. This is a contemporary story all about a young man learning the joy and expression of dance. This is a mostly art-centered one, so it's one that I can read fairly quickly, but I really enjoy the art. So this is one I've been meaning to get to forever, and I just keep putting it off. So this is the perfect excuse to finally pick it up, because this is one I can probably knock out in one of my 15-minute breaks at work. I don't need my full lunch for it. So that's why I'm leaning towards taking this one to work with me, so I can maybe knock out 2 volumes of manga while I'm at work. So very excited for that. And yeah, I'm going to let this poll go for another 10 minutes, and I'll quickly come back and tell you what won. Okay, voting finished. I did read some Wand Dance while I was waiting. But like the utter panic I saw of the back and forth switching of people's votes, like, killed me. It was so funny to me. So I'm gonna quickly pull up my 300, because that's one of the ones I've done a bit more. So we might already have 3. So of what I have left, I have a POC author, a book involving travel. Oh, I know. No, do I want to do that? A third-person POV book that takes place in a different country from where you live. That's any manga, so I might use that one. A special edition, a book involving sports. Oh, I could have used this one for that. Book with, and a book with a weapon on the cover. Ooh, I might do weapon. Let me see what I've got. I'll be back. Okay, so I opted for The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. And this one is a fantasy. And we're going to use it for a book that takes place in a different country than yours, because it's a made-up country, so obviously it's not mine. I believe it's loosely based on the countrysides of Japan, but either way, I'm very, very excited for this one. I've been collecting the series, but not reading it. So again, this is another one where it's the perfect excuse to pick it up. So I'm going to keep going on Wand Dance. I'm going to read this, and I'll touch base with you once I'm back home from work. Hello. It's the same day. I ended up coming home from work early, so I am hosting live sprints so that I can focus on some reading. So I did get Wand Dance finished. Absolutely loved it. So very good. The art in this is very particular, but also very, very good. This is not an art style that everybody's going to love or follow very well, I guess you could say. But this is one that just is a chef's kiss for me. Like, I love everything about this. And it's like competitive dance battle style dance. So I'm having a great time with it. I did also get volume 2 of The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom read. I'm hoping I can find a spin that'll let me read volume 3 pretty quickly, because this one kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger. So I'm very happy. We found out the actual age of our doctor, and she's much younger than I realized. But it's not necessarily so bad. But she's a lot like Mau Mau from Apothecary Diaries. Just a little younger, a little more eccentric, and a little out there. She has a very, like, blunt personality. She doesn't think before she speaks. She has this, like, filter that's broken. Like, that most people have where you would, like, censor what you say to people. She doesn't have that. So, they call her eccentric because of that reason. And she was, like, a country bumpkin, so she really doesn't know a lot of the ways of the world. And it's just a fun series. I really enjoy it. So, let's go ahead and spin... That's a 500-point spin. Yay, fantasy. Okay, let's see what I've got left as an option. Everything I have left, I can't do more Eccentric Doctor. Dang it. Well, no. Book written before 2001. I think I can do that. Dang it, it started in 2002. That won't work. Actually, I think I know what I'm going to read. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to read volume 8 of Free Run because Free Run is her name. So the manga series name is Free Run Beyond Journey's End. But yeah, so that's the prompt I'm going to use for this 500-point prompt. It is a fantasy, so I'll get the bonus for that, which is always fantastic. So I'm going to jump back on these sprints and get this read. And we're back. So we're in the middle of the next sprint, and I just finished Free Run Volume 8, and this is so good. It's a really great slice of life style fantasy, where occasionally the stakes are high, but other times you're just following Free Run on her new journey, because, you know, in the first volume, you see the end of her hero's journey. It's a 10-year journey, and now she kind of has a new group together. And I just really love the journey that we're on. It's a great time. And I am so excited to see where this is going to continue to go. I know it's up to volume 10, I believe, in English. I was a couple behind on this one, so I was really excited to get an opportunity to read another one. With that said, let's go ahead and spin. And I just realized I did the wrong thing. I'm sure y'all are laughing at me right now. But I went ahead and did that 500. So now let's actually pick out a 200 because that's what I actually spun last time. I still had it open. So now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself. All right, my 200 options. A book with a map, a book involving food, a book with an illustrated cover, a first-person POV, self-published book, author's debut, isolated setting, or a retelling. Let's go ahead and do a book with an illustrated cover, and I will pick up the next volume of Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom because I'm really excited to keep going with that one. So I'm going to do that. See you on the other side of that one. Alrighty, so I just finished the Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom, Volume 3. Absolutely adored it. I do also have Volume 4 handy, so I'm hoping I can work that in as well. So let's go ahead and actually spin this time. Since if I get 500, I will skip it because I had added one in. Team chooses. Okay, so the team's going to get to choose again. Since that's all set up, let's spin one more time because I'm hoping to get one more in before the prompt switches. And again, if it's 500, I will skip. 200. Let's pick another 200. Alrighty, so we are going to do volume 4 for an isolated setting. So very excited that I get to read this. And yes, so I continue to really enjoy each one because we're following a particular person who grew up in a very rural area and they've been transported to basically the palace. And they're basically being kept there for political reasons. So it's so good. I love it so much. Anyways, so yes. And once I have the point value that the team chooses, I'll be back to let you know. All right, quickly coming back here because fantasy team decided. Y'all chose the 500 point prompt. So here we go. Let's hope I'm helping, not hindering. And then I chose something before 2001. And so I'm going to do Red River Volume 21. This series started publishing in English in 1995. So that feels like it fits this prompt. So that's what I'm going with. And that should be everything I'm reading for this leg. So once I finish these two, we'll chat and I'll come back to that. But I am definitely pausing for now because I need food and to spend some time with spouse. So I'll chat with y'all probably in the morning. Okay, you're perched precariously upon my tumbler because my camera needs to charge and my microphone also needs to charge. So we're doing it from the phone here for a minute. So y'all on Team Spooky picked 500 because y'all are maniacs and I love you for it. So I decided to read Volume 5, which is one of 2 volumes in Don't Call It Mystery, because this particular volume does have footnotes as you're going. So I'm using it for that prompt. And I went ahead and spun again and I got a 400. And then I decided to read Volume 6 of Don't Call It Mystery and count it for, what did I choose? A book with one person on the cover. So this is the Japanese cover. So I went based off of this. I mean, Totonu is always the one featured on the front cover. So this is what we're basing this on. So I went ahead and read both volumes. This is an all-time favorite series for me. This is a josei mystery series following this college-age man named Totonu. He is going to school to be a teacher. And in the first volume, he is just at home making curry, kind of doing his normal routine. And then all of a sudden he's arrested and brought into the police station and questioned about murder. And things go and snowball from there. Totonu is a very intelligent human. And we learned kind of how that started from his younger years in Volume 5, which was really fantastically done. Again, Totonu is an amazing character and I absolutely adore them. So with that said, I do need to spin my next spin, but my spinner's on my phone. So I'm going to quickly spin and I'll take a screenshot and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, friends. Sadly, it was a 100 spin. Ooh, a backlist book. A backlist book. No, a book that's been on my TBR for at least a year. And I know which one I'm going to go grab. I'll be back. Alrighty, so the one that's been on my TBR for over a year for 100 points is going to be Vampire Dormitory Volume 9. Now, the physical copy has not been on my physical TBR for a year, but I've had this digitally on my TBR since it came out over a year ago. So that's why we're going to go with this one. I'm very excited to keep going with this series. I'm hoping I can find a prompt that'll fit Volume 10 here soon. I did go ahead and do the next spin as well. And y'all are lucky ducks and got 500 again. And so I'm going to choose a book with all 5 vowels on the cover and read Touring After the Apocalypse, Volume 2. This is a dystopic slice of lifestyle story. There is a little bit of a mysterious element to it. So I'm going to go ahead and count it as a mystery. And there's lots of mystery and intrigue here. So I'll be able to count these for this one's primarily a romance though, so I don't feel good counting that, but I can definitely count this as a mystery slice of life. So I will count the mystery bonus for the 500 point one, but for the 100 we won't. But yeah, so y'all are racking up the points in the sightseeing. You're lucky ducks. Again, I do this as a spinner wheel because it's the only way to make it fair. So yeah. So I'm going to take these 2 to work with me. We'll see what happens. I do need to go do my mom's hair later after work. And so there's a good chance that while I'm there, I can knock at least one of these volumes out, if not finish up whatever didn't get finished at work. So yeah, you're doing great work here in the sightseeing leg, and I will see y'all when I'm back with more and I've read more. I'm pretty sure I just did like 5 clips without my microphone on. Anyways, so I've done all my spins for Team Romance, and my selections are Honey Lemon Soda Volume 4, Prince Vega Volume 10. This is for a weapon on the cover, the weapon's on the back. And then I will be rereading Fence Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I am very excited to get to these. I've got just about 25 hours until Face Off Weekend starts. So I have 25 hours to get these read and then run into Face Off Weekend. So with that said, I will see you once I've read these and we come back. All right, friends. So we are on leg 6 now, and it's time to start sightseeing. Make sure I'm pulling up the right spinner wheel because I had to have a bunch for Face Off. So let's go ahead and get going. 300 points to start. Let's look at the options. A book involving travel, third-person POV, or a special edition. I know what I'm going to read. So I have a special edition of Neighborhood Story Volume 1 that I got from Kinokuniya. They had an exclusive edition, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. I know that's not going to necessarily get me some bonus points here, but I want to make sure that I get some sightseeing done for y'all. So I'm going to take that to work with me. And then let's go ahead and spin one more so I can bring an extra one in case that one reads really fast. I don't know the series yet, so I don't know how well it's going to read. It's Ayazawa's art and I love it, so we'll see what happens. And a 200 point. Okay. Let me pull up my 200 point one. Book with a map, book involving food, first person POV, self-pub, author debut, or a retelling. I think one of the ones that I didn't get to read during Face Off has a map. Let me double check. Yes. So Magus of the Library is a series that has multiple maps throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and read volume 5 for this particular prompt. So I've got this one and then Neighborhood Story, which I need to go and dig out. So once I've read those, I will come back to you. I might just read it digitally just for ease today. But yeah, so once I've done that, we'll come back. We'll spin a couple more and we'll go from there. Good morning. It is the next day, so we are at the morning of the 18th. So real quick, I did read the 2 volumes that I had spun for yesterday. So I read my special edition of Neighborhood Story by Ayazawa. This is the special edition from Kinokuniya. And it has like these beautiful, like, very artistic French flaps. So like it's just an amazingly beautiful edition. So really enjoyed that. If you like Ayazawa, you're going to really like this. If you liked Paradise Kiss, it's a prequel to Paradise Kiss. And so it gives you some context on some characters. And it's something that I'm really enjoying so far. The other thing I read was volume 5 of Magus of the Library. I continue to really love this series. It is a dense one with lots of words and lots of reading. So do know that going into this series. So let's go ahead and spin for my next amount of points. Okay, 500 points it is. The only 2 I have left are Something Brigay 5 stars and Something over 500 pages. So I might actually choose the Something over 500 pages because I think I've got at least another day before the next prompt drops. So I might do that and then just kind of give myself a break. I'm starting to reach that point where my brain is starting to burn out a little bit on Amazing Readathon, and I'm trying to be very mindful of that this year. I'm also trying to make sure I'm setting like proper boundaries. I didn't do that very well last year, and spouse was super upset about it. So I've been trying to be much better about that. That's why I chose a producer role as opposed to host role, because I would feel a lot more pressure. So I think I'm going to do the 500 page one. I'm going to see if I can find me an alien romance that'll suck me in. That's 500 pages or more. Because I tend to blow through those pretty quick. So I'm going to go through my Kindle, see what I find, and I will talk to you guys once I've decided. Alrighty, so I have decided in doing all my research for things that would work for the Leg 6 prompt, I did come across a book called Aletheia. It's book 1 in the Killing God series by S.L. Mason. And this one is a longer one, so I think this one's going to be what I do for the 500 pages for this prompt. So I'm hoping to get it done before the next prompt drops. If not, then I'm very sorry. That my goal is always to finish something. So I am very hopeful. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to read as much as I can. I've got a couple hours before I need to head to work, so I've definitely got some time to knock out a fair bit of it this morning. So that's going to kind of be my goal right now, and we will see how far I get, and I'll come back to you when I finish this, and hopefully when Leg 7 starts. Hello friends. So I'm coming to you here at the end of this vlog, a very tired and a little bit sad Shay. My vlogging for the sightseeing stuff really petered out towards the end. I focused all my energy on getting my vlogging done for the legs. I promised all of my spins were super honest and teams were involved and all those kinds of things. So there are receipts in the Discord if you want to go and check those. But with that said, being a producer this year as opposed to being a team host, captain, whatever you wanted to call them, was much more isolating this year, and it felt a little lonely. You know, being the villain isn't always fun. And when I originally signed on and agreed to being a producer and we heard that that was going to be the mechanic, I thought, oh, okay, you know, that'll be fine. But I didn't realize how isolating it would actually be. You know, life happened to a lot of the producers as well. So it's not like I had a lot of them to lean on. Bree was so busy I couldn't lean on her. So I didn't really have anybody I could lean on this year. Where last year I had my fellow hosts and an entire team to lean on when I started to get to a point where I was hyperfixating and things like that. I did try to make all of my sightseeing as even as possible so that no matter what, everybody got helped or hurt the same amount. In the 5 stints, as you saw, the first 5, I was able to read 6 sightseeing. And the second set, because I hit that 500 page prompt and had a DNF on top of that, I was only able to hit 3. And so that was my pace for the rest of the readathon, because that's the only way to truly be as fair as I could. So whether I was helping or hurting your team, I always read like I was going to help, and I tried to make it as even and as fair across the board as I could. So I hope you all are okay with the fact that, you know, I was there. And this year there were a lot of things that were different than the previous year. And I don't know that I loved some of the changes. Some of the mechanics were different this year, and I don't think they were necessarily better for me. Being a person who doesn't normally do competitive readathons, I'm learning that they might not be my thing. So, and it's not because of being a winner or a loser. That's not what this is about. And I'm not saying any of this, like, Bree is a great human. Like, I have nothing against her. And I am just learning that I don't know that competitive readathons are my thing. Challenging myself is one thing, but the team-based competitiveness of this one, I'm not sure is for me. So I'm not sure I'll be back next year. As of right now, my answer is no. I don't see that changing, especially considering how I was feeling really the last 3 legs, I would say, of this one, where I was feeling very, lone woman on an island. That's not a fun feeling. And that's the polar opposite of what I was feeling last year, where I had all the team camaraderie and stuff. So just know that though you might not see me next year with the Amazing Readathon, I think that the community that is capable of being built within the teams is amazing. Almost all the teams were amazing to be in there, even as a producer. But still feeling on the outside and not part of the team dynamics in the second half where you guys had bonded and trauma bonded over things was kind of hard for me. Because I felt like I was just the interloper. I did try to engage with the chats. I know some of the producers didn't, but I really wanted to try to connect with as many people as I could. And I'm not saying all of this to have you be, oh, woe is Shae, oh, pity Shae. That's not what this is about. I still read a ton. I'm happy with most of the things I read. And I just wanted to let y'all know I probably won't be back next year. Maybe in a future year down the road. But for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself doing really competitive readathons going forward for a while at least. Maybe if I designed my own or designed one with my friends, I'd be more open to it. But yeah, as of right now, I don't think they're my thing. And so if you came here hoping to find more, I'm not going to be that channel. I'm very sorry. But if you like manga and you like reading vlogs and you like a wide variety of books, that's something you will definitely find here. I do have some fun things coming up and planned and some collab projects in the works. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog. Thank you so much for being here. I know this one was a long one. If you're here just because you love me, put a book stack emoji in the bottom. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.